Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video over here. Now, we've had a lot of stuff that's happened these last probably 2 weeks or so, and although I was kind of doing content on this channel beforehand, this made this whole entire channel turn to a massive weird twist that I never would have expected. And I kind of want to go and share something that happened throughout this entire past week or so that I think is actually worth sharing. Now, it's not a good situation. It's actually something that's kind of heartbreaking if you think about it, and could have gone completely way worse. Or if you guys have missed it, in the VTubing community, there was actually a 17-year-old minor male who was actually being groomed by an older female VTuber who actually maintained and kind of established a relationship with them, and all of this news broke throughout this last week. Now, this is also, I'm sure you guys can understand where this video is going to go, and I'm going to try my best not to harp on my own situation too much. I think I've done enough, and in all honesty, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who actually took the chance to listen to what I had to go and say, and of course as well, I think I am ready to fully move on from that situation after this video is all done. So if you guys don't mind it, I had a lot of people still ask me about it, ask me if I was okay, and of course, as we've also seen content creators kind of get back in the groove of things, people just have asked me a lot. So I kind of want to have a quick segment of it all, discuss everything really quickly, and focus on the most important thing in this entire situation, is the fact that we had someone in the whole VTubing community have to deal with an actual predator. And of course, this all was happening in the mix of this big like Bao and all these other creator dramas. And that's what kind of stunk. It was also for Shondo too as well. Because as Shondo was going out there and calling some random guy a groomer, there was actual grooming happening as everyone was also fighting using Bao's terms to kind of just diminish men and take things out. So this is probably the last major thing I want to talk about over here, because I did say a few days ago that I want to let this story be heard, because it does actually end up becoming somewhat good. If you guys want the moral of the story, because there's a lot of nitty-gritty details into it, the person actually did end up graduating, and the whole entire community did go and basically excommunicate out an entire groomer. Now, I would say that's a win, but the thing that sucks is there was still a victim in this all. So we can't really clarify this whole situation as a win or something good, but let's try our best to take it with a grain of salt and understand that these situations have been very gray and white and have been all over the place. So let's go talk about this throughout this video. And of course, just want to say thank you guys for your time. As I mentioned, I will be mentioning my own things really quickly because it does all kind of tie on in. Imagine this more as me like kind of sharing a news story that I would traditionally do, like I've done in this channel or my main channels or whatever. So kind of take me out of the picture. I don't want people to think I'm a victim. In all honesty, as I mentioned, I think I kind of won. Like, I think a lot of people heard me, a lot of people sympathized with me, and I actually had a lot of great communications and comments and DMs and support even from a lot of men who have kind of gone through this similar. So once again, we're doing this for you guys, not for me. And I'd like to move on from the situation, as I mentioned, after this one's all done. Don't want to milk it, don't want to seem like I am. So if you guys missed him, this is all going to be tied together, okay? Hear me out. When this all happened about 2 weeks ago or so, there was just a lot of hate when it comes to just men preemptively, and then Bao made a big tweet that was roughly just generalized, just saying like, hey, if a bigger male content creator comes to you, please go and run. No one really kind of disagreed with her, because it's true, if she was talking about miskiff, and that's fine. Like, if anyone is love bombing you, male or female, I think everyone got the gist. But the big issue for the entire thing, was a lot of people were running with Bao's words and basically just using those to harass people, harass men, or even harass myself. Once again, I will be acting like a victim, but my situation, I was heard. I feel great. I have closure. And although the people who were involved in my situation, if you guys ever saw the entire thing, I did have to unfortunately go and kind of be like, hey, some people are just bullies and liars. What I saw is that they kind of lashed out on other people as well. The second all this came out, instead of apologizing or atoning or at least laying low, they just end up harassing other people. And I hope you guys understand, there was like 3 different dramas I had to go through, and seeing this even as of yesterday, hearing all this news about it all, being engaged with it all, made my own personal statements a lot harder to talk about, and I'm just disappointed. Just disappointed. I'm not even like mad. I'm ready to move on from all of this, but as you guys can probably tell, there's like 3 different dramas all at once. So that sucked. And if you guys have missed it, I kind of got in the big guise of, hey, like, you know, it's like, it sucks. Like, it happens to men, it's happened to me. So I'm just trying to speak on behalf of other men. But sadly, as I was speaking out, a lot of people were like being like, hey bro, just log out. Like, hey bro, just leave. What are you doing? Or as well, and I'm not trying to start any big major beef on this because I'm ready to move on from the situation. Not like I keep saying, I don't want to be seen as a victim or anything like here, but that people were using the words of like Bao to stop a lot of conversations from this. Like I'm going to bring up the Azahar because a lot of people actually defended me. So once again, you guys don't have to defend me or cause any more like drama or anything else. Like I'm ready to move on. I'm just showing you guys like throughout this situation sucked. Because I was trying to say that, Disguised Toast was a hurt man, and even he was popular, rich, famous. It was hard for him to speak out. And then people were just saying that I wasn't even a good example. And I'm like, what do you mean? And of course, as well, also using other words too when it comes to like using Bao, etc. Where Bao is using, other content creators to get their numbers up. And well, a lot of people are kind of just like supporting this, being like, hey, it's just a bad timing because Bao kind of tripled down, quadrupled down, etc. Not to harp on Bao. I think she's just, you can move on with her. It's fine. It is what it is. But like people are like defending me, being like, hey, it's like we're talking about the whole vibe, the everything. And as you guys have probably seen, I mentioned this, like they're like, hey, like you're just like over here, because I was saying how people are kind of mocking me for having to bring the stuff on up, which then in turn led to a lot of people out of here too going to my main channel and harassing it and leaving hate comments, not even related to my actual like this account over here. So it sucked. Like, I get called like a grifter, whereas you guys went through the entire thing. I had to. Like, I was kind of forced to expose all these stories. And it sucked because I never wanted to, and it was really heartbreaking. That's kind of why I was a little hurt on just the whole situation. But that just sucks. It is, it is what it is. And as I've mentioned, just people have just been rude on it. A lot of people from Bao's community or people out here were kind of making fun of me or mocking me. Or you've even seen posts over here being like, November is Men's Health Month, nobody gay AF. People are saying this type of stuff, or we've seen comments out here just being like, bro, like, trying to say like, hey, I didn't like what this Nina Lynn was going on. And people are like, hey, yo, man, you are just a massive, because I'm over here just being bullied on the internet, or I'm such a victim. I just want to go get laid. So I got involved with the girl I had no business and cried about. What I mean? Like, I'm seeing this type of stuff, and I'm sitting here, I'm like what's going on? Like I'm over it. Like I'm just trying to be like, hey, it happens to men, and support the men out there who deserve to be supported at the end of the day. So obviously you guys can kind of tell things get rough because it's every cycle I had to go through. It was just pain. It was just something stupid in every regard. But thankfully, all of you lovely folks watching this video, or anyone who's a part of this, saw that like, hey, it does happen to men. But let's get into more of like the bigger stuff, because I'm ready to move on from that. Like that was a bad situation, but I think at the end of the day, I was appreciative that people listened and had a chance to go and share their experience. So now I want to focus more on the most important thing, which should have been the entire process as a whole. The actual victims and people who, well, had to deal with something more traumatic than me. Now, I've had other things happen with me throughout this stuff with inappropriate comments and videos and whatever. Who cares? Who cares? Like I care myself. I care for the other victims. For me, whatever. I'm a man. I can deal with it. It's fine. What happened, though, and this is where the situation got crazier, is as Bao herself was not condemning a lot of this stuff and still hasn't, which, once again, we'll watch her in the future. We'll see how she does. I have no hate on Bao. We also had Shondo, who was calling random people like Floki a groomer, and people were like, what on earth is going on? Because as this is all ongoing, we quite literally had the grooming situation, which is all leading up to, as well as also the Nina Lynn situation. So it was just very bad timing for everyone out here. And this is why I'm making this video, to highlight the underage victim. Like this was a bigger victim than me. I was not a victim, like all things considered. This is like an underage person that might have lasting effects, and this was a really bad situation. And this is why also it's hard, because even Toast was afraid to talk about this stuff, because it makes people make fun of you and mock you. And I'm showing you guys little bits and pieces of proof of it all. It sucks. So that's why I think it was really good that Shondo apologized. In the mix, she called someone a groomer, as someone in the VTubing community was actually actively getting groomed. And I want to give a little special shout out to Deja, who also took care of me, sent me nice messages, and was a very big advocate for all the men out there. I'm going to have his comments linked down below. We'll get to him in a second. But give him some love. Like throughout this entire process, there was a lot of great women, a lot of great men, a lot of just great people everywhere who had a chance to speak out for these issues. And I don't want to be known as like the dude who is always a victim, and oh my god, I gotta call this stuff on out, because I'm a gossip channel here at the end of the day. I've been doing it for like 3 weeks. I don't really know what I'm doing. I got shoved in the algorithm because I probably have done YouTube before, and I don't know what I'm doing. But I just don't want people to always be like, well, I'm critiquing this guy while this guy's a victim. Wow, he did this. That's why I'm somewhat afraid to bring this stuff on up. But Shondo did great. In the mix of it all, she messed up really bad by calling someone a groomer as someone was actively being groomed. But they made a proper apology, where both her and Floki were all good. Like, she eventually truly was like, I am actually truly sorry for what I said, and I'm going to take accountability for this all. I am so, like, it's nice. Like, this is beautiful to see, and I was very happy to see this. So they both apologize, and this is great. But the initial drama and the doubling down, and kind of the same with the Bao situation, where she's kind of making jokes of it all and saying, oh, I'm getting more engagement regardless. Oh, who cares? And trying to sell concert tickets, and people are telling me her last tweet she said was trying to sell more stuff. Like, it is, like, not even to cause drama or make Bao look bad. It's just, it's like, it's very distasteful. Because once again, I'm going to keep saying this, there was an actual active groomer and people were begging Bao, pleading with Bao. My situation, although it's not as severe, I care more about this young kid who had to deal with this all. Like, this was ongoing and coming out and was going viral somewhat-ish, like, as this is all happening. And that's why people were like, Bao, what, they just, like you're seeing this all in front of you. And as I mentioned, other people were mentioning Bao's words just to bring people down. So the Shondo stuff, this is cleared out, and I'm very thankful. Bao, you wanna know what? Let her have her moment. I think she's been going through a lot. You know, like, it's fine. Whatever. I have no bad blood. It did hurt. I've had mean comments even I can show you guys the last 24 hours still in regards to it all. So yeah, that does suck, and that is what happens when no one condemns like what happened here. But what can I say? That's just sometimes being a man, you know? And this is now, let's get to the actual story. I want to talk to you guys about this all because, well, we saw the Nina Lane stuff and people were bringing that on up, and I try to make that my big point too as well. And at the same time, like, people are condemning this. Like, we're even seeing all these other people, like Moist Critical out here, like, kind of once again speaking up for men.
And it's very true. Again, if this was a man that was doing this to a woman lying on that table, a complete stranger, just starts, you know, honking on her butt cheeks there, how many people would be laughing? Probably
like
none.
The description of how he jumps the honking on butt cheeks, but sadly, that is exactly what happened. Like, it's a serious thing, and it's a bad thing that happened to all these people. Nina Lynn out here was an actual abuser, end all be all. And a lot of other men in this situation, like Critical, even Lacey, like, you know, when FaZe Clan is going and calling this stuff on out, and like FaZe Clan, Asmongold, XQC, Moist Critical, like everyone, like every corner of the internet you want to be in, every corner is calling out Nina Lynn.
Why can she not just be a semi-decent human being, accept fault, say that she was wrong, and apologize, instead of being like petty and making jokes about it? And like, I don't understand.
And this is what a lot of people are saying. Like, yeah, it might be funny to make a honk and like a Critical, but that's just his sense of style and content. Funny enough, Lacey's over here saying it exactly how it is. Because Nina Lynn went on her stream and just started, I made a video on this yesterday, and just started mocking it all. Like, telling all her people in her car, like, we'll have to sign an NDA. If I touch you, you're not going to sue me. And I think she was also even, like, doing stuff on a 16-year-old. Like, this is inappropriate as all heck as anyone can say. Like, no jokes or anything about this. It's just inappropriate. Where every single corner of the internet is against this, because this is kind of the big spark we've had. This is kind of like the backlash of the disguised toast thing. And why it's kind of weird that the VTubing community was pushing back against this when it seems like most of the flesh tubers of every corner, Moist Critical, Lace, FaZe Clan, everyone, Livestream Fails even, are all mostly against this girl and being like, hey, she should have been banned a lot longer. Now, someone like Bao was just misspeaking. She's not the world's whatever. But someone like this other girl we're going to get to right this second, yeah, dude, this was like bad. This was bad. So this took a long time to get to it, but I think it all builds up to this moment. It kind of also my own closure so I can move on from my own situation. I may have thrown a little bit of shade towards Bao or these other people. I hope you guys understand that I'm still getting hate comments, although we've gotten so many more loving comments and nice people and support everywhere. And like I said, I got to tell my story. I got heard, so I'm ready to like move on. Like, this is the last time I want to bring it up on this channel because I don't want to be known as that guy. But it is, you know, it sucked because this all ties into why some of these people were critiquing things. Because this woman as well, Mizu Ray, who is now officially graduated, and this was the predator. This person is a predator, without a doubt. Funny enough, was using Bao's words again throughout this entire situation. And that was always the issue the entire time, where people were weaponizing words and diminishing men throughout the entire experience. And as we're now seeing it once again with Nina Lynn, which is why I went through that whole process of showing those clips and the comments and leading up to it, or my own experience, because this is all the last 1 or 2 weeks throughout this all. And like I said, I'm not the biggest person over here who is a victim. It's who cares at the end of the day. Sometimes you got stuff that happens and I move on, and I'm just happy people listen. But you have sometimes people who are younger who don't have the words or the conversations to bring this up, or you have to deal with all the weird hate I had to deal with. Like I keep saying, I had more love than hate. I don't want to be a victim. But there was still hate. And what happened, it sucked. Like, you know, like I literally had Bao's like viewers, because my post at the time had a few million views, and also the YouTube videos with me showing Bao's face on it. So then Bao's fans were going and harassing people. And they also were harassing other people. Like in this situation we're about to right now. This took way too long, but so this person was on Bao's side, was using Bao's words, gets criticized one time, and because of her kind of just being like just a mean, almost like a female grifter, if you will. Because most women I've spoken to, both in private, publicly, supporting my post, everywhere, we're all just like, yeah, like it happens, it sucks, let's just come together and be like a good community. And it seemed like it happened. It seemed like it did. And a lot of mentally normal women listened, so thank you so much, like shout out to them. But even this, they had the official announcement that they had to go and have Mizu graduate from VTuber, which is crazy because this person was literally a groomer. We're going to show the video over here too. So some of their comments over here for Deja, who, as I mentioned, I'm going to link them down below. Great person. They were there for me. They were checking up on me. They were a very big advocate for males' rights and just making sure everyone was okay. Like he was more so there to be like that big brother, to be like, hey, I got this, you know, speak on your behalf and make sure things are right. And that's something to kind of, because like the start of this video is a little bit drummy. You know, I'm like, oh, these people are kind of mean, or this Nina Lynn's whatever. From now on, from this part of the video, we forgive all those people. Like I had to forgive out an old ex of mine. I forgave them. I'm not forgiving them for them now continuing the habit and harassing more people. You better stop that. You and your friends are horrible people. Do not do that. Stop. Like grow up. And that kind of makes me feel okay, because like I kind of see how gross they are as people. I can move on pretty happily there. Once again, no things off my shirt. But nonetheless, it's just, these are all hard situations to be a part of, you know? So shout out to Deja. I feel my heart broken for this kid, because they're saying it's not the all men thing all over again, that's where it started at. And most people agreed with Bao. We know it's not all men. We know that. But we don't know which men, so we have to be cautious all the time. And not to get mentioned, it's almost all women that get harassed and used like this. It's not a target on men. We just want to be safe. And you can't use if the roles were reversed, because they aren't. I want to reiterate this. This is the person we're about to go and call out for being a groomer who is now gone, which is a win. Like I was trying to say, there is some shade, maybe whatever. I'm forgiving them all. Like I have nothing against Bao. If anything, if I keep complaining about it, I'll just be known as a grifter. But actually, like it's okay. Like whatever, Bao's cool. Like she's going through her stuff. It's fine. Shondo apologized. She's good. You know what I mean? Even like the Azura person I showed, yeah, that was kind of distasteful, but like whatever, you're forgiven. Who cares? Like I don't care. Like I don't have drama with you. Who cares? It's fine. It does hurt. Still does hurt. Please let me be a victim in the hurt itself, because I just wanted to stop. You know, I don't want to like, but still, like, you know, it is what it is. I felt like I had to make this video to make future videos. You know, I have to address it all, and this is important. But they said if the roles were reversed, because they aren't reversed, and they likely never will be. Does this mean that men never get used or harassed? No, and they shouldn't feel scared to talk about it, and I'm sorry that they do. Which, funny enough, this actually got community noted, saying the roles can and are frequently reversed. And what I'm trying to tie this all together is that it's really hard to speak out as a man. You know, like we had Disguised Toast, who is now getting mocked, partially because of this girl, Nina Lynn, going and show up on her stream in a jail suit. Everyone online is kind of mocking her because it was very distasteful. Even FaZe Lacey is. And as well, she's like making NDA jokes and minor jokes and like touching people still, after she only got banned for 1 week, where if it was a man, they'd probably be permanently banned forever. Like truthfully, rightfully so, they all should be. But they said this line because they said if the roles were reversed, because they aren't. I had to somewhat speak out about my own issues, which is why I brought up here in the first place, not for victimizing. There's a point for this all. Is I brought all my stuff because the roles are reversed sometimes. You know? And once again, this person who is using these words, Bao's words themselves, pretty much directly involved in the Bao conversation, was literally a groomer. This person on the screen, from what we saw, from all the proof and all the images we're going to show in a second, was a groomer. This is a groomer. So the groomers out there were using Bao's words to go and harass other people and men who were trying to speak out about all these issues, like Deja Wukong, who is a great guy. You know, he's out there making sure everyone was all okay. making sure I was okay, supporting people, supporting Ben, when just basically letting people have a voice as he had his moment of attention, which is why I want you guys to follow them and give them some love. They're great. They were good to me. They were good people. Like, this is a celebration that we got rid of a groomer. It's horrible we had some in the first place, but it's a celebration that the VTubing community at least has one less just weirdo, like one less sex pest in here, because it is a problem. So as you guys can see, like throughout everything I showed, it does get hard to talk about this stuff. It does get hard to bring it up. You will be harassed throughout the entire process. Mine ramped up to, hey, be careful with your wordings. Hey, it happens to some men. Hey, it happened to me. Prove it, loser, or else we're gonna go and try to cancel you. You prove it. Okay, you're a victim. Okay, you proved it even more with actual proof. Wow, you're a attention whore. Wow, you're a loser. Wow, let's move. Like, you suck. And like, why is Bao sad? It was horrible. Like, he was like, what am I supposed to do? All in the mix of me doing my own drama. And then you have this in the mix of this all as well. You know, you have someone who's using Bao's words and go and say that men don't matter. Men are, the roles are never reversed. This person literally was the definition themselves in the bad way of the roles are reversed. We're seeing this Nina Lin situation going viral everywhere because that is where the situation was reversed, and even a bigger content creator. So now I want to go and show you guys the special thing of this all, because this is a video that actually Deja was requested to share. And this is kind of like showing the proof of everything out here. The grooming of the person, which is heartbreaking. My heart goes out to the victim. You are a strong person. We don't have to make it like, you know, some dramatic montage of words, but you are a strong person. You know, like, you had a good mentality through it all. You weren't going scorched earth. You just want to have your story be told. In the future, you are going to find a lovely woman who loves you for who you are, which is hopefully age appropriate. And just don't let this stuff bother you. You know, if you ever have to talk about it in the future, hit up a therapist, whatever, that's okay. It's like not a big deal. But just be a little, it's not your fault. It wasn't your fault. You were a victim. I know no one I have not liked being called a victim because it seems weird. It's whatever, I can move on. But you know, like, you were. So it's okay. Like, it's okay this happened. Not okay that the situation happened, but you as a person, speaking to that person, it is okay, you know? So I'm going to show you guys this because it turned into them literally leaving the internet. This is one of the most bonkers things I've seen.
Hey everyone, this is a difficult post to share and even harder to hear, but it's an important story that needs to be told. This all began when we started discussing how men often feel unable to come forward with their own experiences.
And as I mentioned, that's why I even re-mentioned this all, because I don't want to be like me. I don't know how many more times I have to say that. I don't want to be like me. But that's why this is the last time I'm going to bring it up ever. This is super relevant. But like, this was hard. It was a hard experience for men to speak up. And this was ongoing throughout, like, while Bao was like diminishing it all and calling people bald and saying they're all just trolls, etc. And people were begging her to like acknowledge us all. Like I said, there was literally a groomed male minor who this was ongoing. And these posts are going viral. Like, this has 900,000 views, probably millions as of now, because this was like a few days ago when the tweet was posted itself. Like, this was a big deal. And then there was just still people, like, some people eventually got it. Some people eventually clicked and like, yeah, this is a lot, you know? Like, there's a lot of bad stuff going on. We should maybe take a step back. And like I said, we're seeing the fleshies do it, but for the VTubers, it took a while.
One of the many men who reached out to me wanted to share his story involving Mizu.
And he also got harassed too as well by Mizu, because they were trying to also put him on a hate campaign against him, like how people were doing for me. If you guys remember my story, like, people literally were lying about me to cover me up. Like, it was disgusting. And that's why I was even more hard, because I was trying to go and talk about a cover up, you know? So they were doing this to Deja in front of everyone. You know, he was friends with someone for a long time trying to go talk about these issues, and then they got blocked. You know, they got blocked and then harassed. And this person, once again, was a groomer. Like, this person is basically trying to bully people out from ever speaking out.
I'll include the full recording at the end for anyone who wants to read through all the messages themselves. I'll also include key screenshots and her Discord ID to confirm it's her. It's time for male victims to be heard and for those responsible to be held accountable. At the time of their interactions, he was a minor, while Mizu was 23.
So there was a decent age gap going over here. At least in the state that I live in, that is illegal. I'm sure some people might bring up other age consent laws or whatever. This is not the point. Or at least for my case, this is illegal. In many instances, this is illegal. The victim was not okay with it. It was uncomfortable. There's a decent age gap. And the thing is, after the age was found out, they kept going. And I think that's the biggest deal too.
No way to soften this. They were in a romantic relationship, and she didn't even make the basic effort to confirm his age.
By the way, if you're ever going and trying to go e-date or something, please know what they look like, their age, and like make sure they're like not dating someone. I think those are the big three. You could take it from me. That's a big deal. So I don't know how do you date someone without even knowing their age first and foremost, but still.
Even after learning he was underage, she took time to decide on how to proceed with their relationship instead of cutting contact.
So you can see, okay, so I don't think things will go back to normal after everything. The entire situation makes me uncomfortable, which is good to think about, but she also admits that I was dating a minor. That's crazy. That itself freaks me out every time I think about it. That's why I'm not comfortable with you doing things for me and being super nice and stuff. I didn't realize it was coming off as I didn't care. I'm grateful for everything you did for me. So I do want to like not completely scorn them. They are a minor dater predator. Like I don't want to take that away from them. You're disgusting. I'm so happy you're gone from this community. But they at least did have some reminiscence thinking about this. But it's weird because once again, they kept on trying to go along with this afterwards. And as well, they never knew the age of someone they were dating. Like what?
He's asked to remain anonymous, but he wants his story to be heard. I'm sharing this on his behalf.
And I did also ask to make sure it's okay I did go share this.
Doing my best to respect his wishes while making sure the truth is known. This part takes place after a call where they discuss their ages. As you can see, the male has asked if his age was a problem. She responded that it was a bit alarming since she hadn't realised he was a minor while she was already in her 20s, but said she needed some time to think and clear her head. The question remains, why didn't she end things then, knowing he was underage and she was an adult?
I would say if I've ever interacted with anyone, let's say I'm playing Valorant or something, if I find out they're under the age of like 18, I will just stop talking. I will mute them in the lobby. I will, unless they're just like the most basic pleasantries of someone saying, good job, or nice plant, or there's a guy to the right. Yes, maybe I will just, if I'm not even super paying attention. But if everyone's ever like, oh my God, I'm 16, I just instantly mute. I move on. I don't look at random Discord DMs, tweets, or whatever. I'm very private myself. If I ever found out someone was that age myself, it's not I need a bit of time to think and clear my head. It's we had a good run out and we're good. Like I'm moving on. we're done. You know, we're done here. We're done at this point.
Their conversation during which he tells her to take her time and says that he loves her. She replies, I really love you.
I do want to remind everyone, like you may think these are nice words, which in high level, maybe. Like if it's your mom, your aunt, big sister, whoever it might be. But if you just found out that someone you're quote unquote dating is underage and is a minor, and for somehow you got to that point without even knowing that as well, and they go and say, I really love you too, and say, I understand it's not a good situation. It's mostly my fault because I kept forgetting to ask, but hubby, why do you call them hubby after you find out they're underage? Did you never think to tell me or mention it? Like, it's just a big thing. I honestly don't know what to do right now. As an overage person, you stop the communication, you don't lead it on, you find out they're a minor, and you move on and you be the adult in this situation. So this was ongoing throughout this entire past few weeks of all the stuff I mentioned at the start of the video, you know? And like, it's just like, this is crazy to see this.
And keeps using pet names like hubby.
Yes, you can't be calling this like a 17-year-old that's a minor a hubby.
Instead of taking responsibility, she places the blame on him for not disclosing his.
And yes, you can't if you're literally that, like I have never once in my life dated someone with a title without knowing how old they are at the bare minimum. What on earth are these relationships and these e-daters going on? Bro, like what is this? Like what? It's like dating somebody you don't even know their name.
His age, rather than taking the simple step of confirming it herself.
Yeah, also why not just ask? Like that's like, dude, if I'm talking to a girl, I want to know how old you are.
At this point, any use of pet names or expressions of love should have stopped entirely.
I agree without any doubt in my mind.
Knowing
this person, by the way, is gone off the internet.
Was a minor, why did she choose to continue instead of cutting off contact? Here, she begins to take steps towards ending the relationship.
Which is what you should be doing.
Not because she recognizes that it's wrong, but because she feels uncomfortable and mentions having had issues with minors before.
How I have never had issues with minors because I don't interact with minors. How does someone even go and say, I've had so many issues with minors already, and I love you so much? Now, I do want to say it is good that they're out for this as well, you know? Like, it's...
Despite
still
that, she continues to tell him she loves him
weird.
and brings up how they had planned to make their relationship public. She even asks what would have happened if people had discovered he was a minor.
So they're not caring about themselves in terms of, like, the relationship. They're caring about themselves in the term of, hey, if you went public, which we planned on doing, and people found out that I was dating a minor and I got canceled and went to jail, which ultimately didn't end up happening in the first place because this person, Mizu, is a literal predator, like, you could just tell the mindset's not right. This is not a normal mindset for, like, a person.
And how much trouble.
You know how much trouble we would get in. In theory, it'd be more so them, and the person also called this out. Like, the victim was like, wait a second, no, this is wrong. Like, you were hitting me up when I was underage. And you can see, like, how much trouble we would be in. It'd be you. You're the adult. You're the predator. That's why you're gone off the internet right now. That's why it's a win that people are calling this out. Because this type of stuff, like what Nina Lin is doing, is not acceptable. What kind of stuff this Mizu person was doing was not acceptable. And also what Shondo did, too, as well, was not acceptable. But Shondo apologized. Bao is a weird case because it was more of like, I don't think she realized on how big this situation kind of got. So, I mean, like, I myself, like, I had to deal with hate from her. Like, I keep bringing me up and I hate it. But just, I guess, my last vent of it all. And so it stinks, you know, but she wasn't, you know, messaging minors. She wasn't calling people out crazy stuff. She was kind of in her own world. And that's why I'm kind of being like, hey, bygones be bygones. Probably time to move on. You know, it's fine. It is. Don't dog. It's fine. But, like, this is, like, we're seeing this all. And, like, this is an actual predator in motion. Now, they are trying to say nice. I don't want to give them a free pass. They're literally a groomer. But, you know, like, at least they were trying to realize they knew it was bad. They were trying to maybe, like, it's a lot of complex feelings, whatever. But, like, see, look at this. Like, I'm sorry if I found hysteric or anything like that. I don't even know what to do. You just stopped talking to a minor. You were trying to date a minor. Like, like, there's nothing else to really say. Like, this person was harassing people on Bao's behalf and trying to go and say that men are never victims when they were the ones that were also just, they were predators. And, like, this is what we had to deal with all these weeks. Like, it just sucks. I'm only re-bringing this up because the Nina Lin, like, it seems like people are kind of finally getting it. Like, it's not okay for women to do this.
They could have gotten into. This is deeply concerning, as her decision to step back wasn't based on understanding the seriousness of being involved with a minor, but rather on her own discomfort and fear of the backlash if the truth came out.
That's exactly what I feel like. She was more so focused on what would happen to her career if people would think she's weird or a groomer, which she is, and everything else. But this is why it's weird, because these people were harassing and trying to silence Deja and other people out there. Like, this was a disgusting thing I didn't see many people talk about.
Next, she says that she doesn't feel comfortable dating someone who isn't even 18 and admits that it's probably not legal. She goes on to say that she told herself she would never date anyone under 20 and adds that she should have asked.
Yes. Who dates them without knowing how old they are?
This is the first moment where she acknowledges that what she did might not be legal, yet still chooses to continue the conversation.
Once again, if I've ever had a chance to know someone's underage, I instantly block them, mute them, or stop the conversation because I'm a grown man.
What's especially troubling is that despite claiming she would never date someone under 20, she admitted having issues with minors before.
So it's been a recurring issue.
Case, why didn't she make sure to ask his age before becoming romantically involved? Confirming someone's age is something most people would do before even pursuing a relationship.
I want to know that for even friendships. If I'm talking to someone online, I want to know how old they are.
Not after being well into one. Throughout the messages, she continues keeping him around instead of cutting things off, remaining flirty, using pet names, and showing more concern about people finding out than about the legality of her actions.
This is horrible because, as we mentioned, it kept on going. So not only were they a groomer, they kept on going. They kept on going. They were literally being groomed in front of other content creators making fun of groomers for no reason. Like, this was hidden in plain sight, and it got covered up because of all the people discussing all these other things. Even my own drama. Like, I mentioned that for the first bit of the video, and I kind of felt like for storytelling, it makes sense. Like, for storytelling to build up to this moment and kind of have, like, prior context of, like, it's hard to speak out as a man, and, like, you know, just trying to, like, share the experience with it all. And then also telling the Nina Lin, because that was also popping off on the internet the last day or so. So if you guys don't mind me bringing it up, like, I know it's a longer video, but I think it's meant to explain that as a man, like, these situations are weird. Like a lot of people were making tweets that they never knew about what happened with me, never knew what happened with this guy. Like this poor minor, like it sucks because it got hidden because people were having too busy of like a yap fest back and forth about blah 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 blah, like silly things that didn't matter, which led to people getting harassed and abused and things being covered up, which was what everyone was trying to say from the very first day. Like this was 3 weeks of this conversation now, but I think it's an important conversation because I think many people have grown and accepted that could be a bad thing, you know, that it's a serious situation all around. I don't know. So honestly, I haven't been happier than I have been these past few months. It's been such a positive thing in my life, and the one thing that was going well for me, which is why this hurts so much. Once again, only caring about themselves, not the fact that you were talking and engaged with the minor. I thought something was finally going right for me because of my oversight to end up like this. No, honestly, I don't get why you. I get why you didn't tell me. I would have been scared too. I just wish it could have been avoided. You know, it hurts making yourself the victim. It does, but it'll get better from here, I promise. Not the greatest start to the new year, but there's 364 days to go of unimaginable events, and thank you for understanding. Like, what a nice guy, dude. Thank you for seeing such a huge support for me and doing with all my stupid stuff. Like, you were literally talking to a minor who you were victimizing because they clearly came out with this story and were uncomfortable with it afterwards. Don't worry about it. I'll always be here for you when you need me. I care about you, of course. I'm going to support you. I care about you too, so much. And you see this stuff and it's crazy. Like, this is not how you should be talking with the minor you were trying to date. I'm in a terrible mood lately. I just felt like you keep picking and commenting on a lot of things I do. And then the thing with the whole rate scenario really ticked me off because we were obviously all joking around and people jab at me for stuff all the time, you included. And then when you commented on my laugh being fake or me being tired throughout all the Gartic phone stream, and Phasma, you kept going on about the orb and me not doing stuff, even when I said I was watching and saw it. I don't know, it kind of seems lately you're kind of drilling into me about stuff. But I might be overthinking. I shouldn't respond in irritation. I'm sorry about that. Like, why are you still hanging out on calls, playing video games, spending all this time streaming, co-streaming with someone who is a minor, and you're trying to go and be like, oh, you're my blah, blah, blah. Like, they're like emotionally, like, grooming this person. It seems like you're literally emotionally grooming this person. Like, this is disgusting. This person's a grown woman. Okay, so I don't think things will go back to normal after everything. They never should have. You were a groomer. The entire situation makes me uncomfortable to think about. You were literally grooming someone. I was dating a minor. You admitted it. Like, bro, like, how are you a victim? You cause victims. That in itself freaks me out every time I think about it. What about the person who's trying to also emotionally support you and they're underage? Like, what are you doing here? That's why I'm not comfortable with you doing things for me or being super nice stuff. Didn't think they were nice over here. Didn't even realize it was coming off as I didn't care. I'm grateful for everything you did for me, but at the same time, it makes me incredibly guilty and uncomfortable because of what happened. Yeah, because you have guilt because you're grooming a minor. Regardless, I didn't feel like I was being mean to you in any way, just distant. The past week or so with you going at me more than once and all the stress I already have with the work and school, I've been irritable. I should have been sorry. Like, you know, I'm just sorry about this all.
From my own interaction with her, one thing stood out. She told me that the roles aren't reversed and they likely never will be.
And this is the whole point of this all for us all. We had so many people using words like Bao's words or diminishing what happened when they were literally like, they were just the abusers. Like, people were mean. Like, this is horrible to read.
In this case, she was the larger creator, taking advantage of the smaller male creator.
She was the bigger streamer who also found someone who was a minor, never did her due diligence, and continued emotionally trying to groom them afterwards and blame them in this situation.
Who is a minor, which speaks volumes. Take from this what you will, but thank you for taking your time to listen to his story. Remember, male victims exist too, and they deserve to be heard and taken seriously.
Like, this was crazy. And as well, I want to say there's be like a little bit more to this all, but we could probably wrap up the whole situation after this one. This is a long one, but I think it was something I think I had to make before I can ever make another video here. It's okay if no one watches it even. But like, it sucks. Like, this person's gone. Like, this person graduated. Like, they basically got excommunicated out because there's no coming back from this. Oi, wifey, I should probably ask, since I guess my age can be pretty alarming. Does that bother you? Because if so, I totally understand. You know, these are all the DMs on mine. Like, he's even saying, I'm afraid to, I didn't want to lose you for it. You're really amazing and I love you so much. And like, yeah, you can maybe see them trying to be like, I don't know what to do. It's weird to live in this situation, whatever it might be, you know? But like, this person who is a 17-year-old minor is so nice. Like, I'm so sorry, truly, deeply sorry. I take 100% the blame for this stuff. You deserve so much better, and the fact that I hurt you made me feel so terrible. And this is what I was saying, is it kind of seems like they're emotionally abusing them. Like being like, they're trying to make them, this poor person, the villain, this minor, the villain, and they never were, you know? I understand if you don't want to be partners, but we can always remain friends. I don't want to lose you completely. This is a minor. Like, you just cannot do this too as well. You know? Like, let's hang out again soon. You guys can see this. Let's hang out again soon. And they just found out that they're a minor trying to go date them too as well. Like, I just wish everything could have been avoided. All the stuff we've covered, all these DMs, all these messages, everything we've had a chance to see too as well, you know? And they just kept on talking. Like, they just kept on talking, and this person's now fully gone. You know, they were just trying to figure out what was happening. It was a weird relationship. This never should have gone on too as well. And like, you know, they were even saying, you don't have to feel guilty or uncomfortable about me doing nice things for you because I just care about you. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable about us or feel guilty. So let's get out of this funk. It was a little awkward and uncomfortable at first, but that's okay. Like, this person is such a nice person, this redacted person, and my heart goes out to them that they had to deal with this all. Because that was a hard situation that they probably had to go through. They might not think so, but this is like weird. Like, as an adult, and after everything I've seen these past few weeks or so, like, this was gross, you know? And this person was trying to go and hide and diminish other men and saying that this never happens when they were just a groomer out in front sight, you know? And this is like gross. It's just weird to say that they were about to go and date. They literally were. Like, they literally seemed like they were together for a while. And they just try to go and hide from this all. And it does really, really suck seeing this. Like, my heart goes, this is the real victim of this all. Like, yeah, in this video I may have been like, oh, this happened to me, or did this or whatever. But no, this was the real victim. Like, this is what people were trying to speak out about and bring up and be like, hey, this is what matters. Like, this is the important thing. Like, not me. Who cares about me? I'm not even saying that as like a pity farm. Like, bro, who cares about me? Like, my situation at this point, sorted. I was around bad people and I got out of it. That's a win. People heard my story. That's a win. Like, I'm able to get a better mental in my life and, you know, move on with and be happy. Like, that's a win. Like, if some men out there feel more empowered from what I had to say, that's a win. We had a chance to get rid of this random horrible groomer. Like, they had official announcements. They've deleted their Twitter. They tried to make a Google Doc to respond, but no one cared. But they're like, hey, we want to share the activity that Mizu Ray has graduated from VCharm and all VTubing related activities and no longer will be a member of the group because they were on Bao's side. They were getting criticized. They were just had a really bad take, and then literally people called them out for being a groomer, and now their account is deleted and they graduated. So I would say the final thoughts for this is I hate that this poor child had to deal with this. Being 17 years old, everything that I just saw was disgusting. Like, you got to put in the perspective of someone who is an adult talking to an underage person. They got taken advantage of, they were emotionally abused, and they were also engaged in a relationship that should have never happened. All because of this Mizu person. But because of Deja Wu, who is a phenomenal man who, like I said, was there for me and was a big advocate for everything, they got exposed. They had their entire account basically just deleted, and this all happened on the low-key side. A lot of people didn't know this was happening, because we also had Shondo, who was called someone a groomer, so people were focused on that, even though that guy was never a groomer and someone was actively a groomer in the mix this all. Or as we mentioned too, Bao was kind of doubling down, just kind of acting a little goofy and whatever. Like, nothing against Bao, nothing against anyone I mentioned. And like I said, this is kind of my also like, this was kind of a traumatic experience for me. So this is like my final closure to be like, we got to always pay attention to the men out there. You know, sometimes there's someone who's younger than us. Like, I'm a 30-year-old dude, I'm old at this point. Like, we got to do it for the kids. Make sure they're okay. And this is kind of a good example where, yeah, things may have happened to me, but there's harder and worse things that I've seen in my Discord DMs, Twitter DMs, even people publicly, other stories people were trying to go and tell, both man and woman. And this entire past 2 or so weeks was kind of eye-opening for me to kind of realize how blessed and lucky I was having so many great female friends and VTuber friends who listened to me, protected me, and how many lovely people in this channel and community who just listened to what I had to say. You know, even for this video, this is a 44-minute long video, but the fact that people listened to this entire process, if they did, I appreciate a lot. Because this was a lot. This was a very long, hard experience. So I am done. I don't want to bring up my experiences anymore. I don't want to harp on this stuff anymore. I'm ready to move on myself. I forgive Bao. I forgive, that was anyone who made comments, whatever. I'm on the internet all the time. Who cares? Whatever. Fucking whatever. And just major shout out to Deja, dude. That guy was a good dude. He took care of a lot of people and made sure this story got told. And my heart goes out to that victim. If you ever need anything, please slide in my messages, DMs at this point. I think you're over the age of 18. So I think it's fine if you ever need anything, advice or anything. Not that I'm probably the beacon of someone who does know stuff. Just so you have someone out there, let me know. Any man who's had to go through these issues, I apologize. I'd give you the biggest hug, biggest handshake, make you some waffles if I could. And of course, any woman who's had to deal with all the hells that happen online especially, my heart goes out to you because there's victims everywhere. So let's maybe move on. Let's move on from this, move on from my own stuff. I felt like I had to make this video or else I wouldn't make normal videos again because I just felt like I had to. I said I was going to, and it was a long one. I knew it was going to be a hard one, so. And just, it's kind of nice to see other people like Critical and the FaZe Clan guys, XQC, Asmongold, all of them, speaking out on behalf of all these victims and kind of condemning Nina Lynn for everything she did. Because I do think everything that happened, that situation tied in very closely with this entire situation as well. So that's it. My heart goes out to everyone. Let's hope that this leads towards a nicer and brighter VTubing community. And I'm very sorry if I misspoke at all or made this too much about me. It just was me kind of reporting on the news, and it was a build-up, and it did hurt a lot from all the hate comments I received. But all the lovely, nice comments and everyone who supported me made it a lot better. So I'm going to stop being a victim here because I'd say my situation is resolved. So thank you for everyone. I appreciate you guys all. We'll have some more normal videos soon. And this took me a few days to make because it was a hard subject to make. So if you guys don't mind. Okay, I appreciate you guys all, and I'll talk to you guys all soon.